Man.
What happened, Tasha? Are you upset about the election results?
No, I'm not. Girl, the election ain't even over yet. Shoot, it should be, but it ain't.
So what are you upset about?
No, I'm upset. Alex Trebek died, man.
Yeah. Okay, all right. You already know whose turn it is to go first this week, hunty.
I thought I was gonna have a lot of election news for you, but Mandy gonna cover that. Can't have no lipstick on my teeth, you heard. Anywho, but like I said, in the intro, it ain't really over yet. So I really can't give you no updates other than the fact that, Joe Biden is the projected winner, and we'll see what else happens next, because 2020 has been very weird, and so I'm gonna sit there and wait and see it to the end. Okay, so I did not forget about you, boo-boo Ghislaine. I'm about to get to you, but first of all, I want to acknowledge the fact that, and this article will actually be in the description along with, Girlie's article as well. But this comes from the Hollywood Reporter, and Alex Trebek, host of Jeopardy, has died at 80 years old. He was battling, looks like, pancreatic cancer. And it seems like to me, that a lot of people have been dying from cancer and we didn't know about it. For example, Chadwick Boseman, he died of cancer and nobody knew that he was even battling that. So it's like, it's really disheartening to see all of these people going out in 2020, So I don't know what to say. Then there's another actor. He was 38 years old. He was one of the stars on a BET show. He just passed away as well. And it's just like, wow. And his name was Bert Belasco. I hope I said that correctly. But he just passed away. And it's just like, wow, it's a lot, So it says, and this will also be in the description, but Bert Belasco, Let's Stay Together and pitch actor, dies at age 38. Actor's father said his body was found in Virginia, where he was quarantined ahead of his new movie. And they have him as his body was found in a hotel room in Richmond, Virginia. He was required to quarantine ahead of starting production on a new movie. And I guess this father, according to this article, believes that his son's death was due to an aneurysm. And you got to take care of your bodies. We got to take care of ourselves a lot better because we got underlying issues that we don't even know about. And it's just... you never know. And it's so anyway, let me get into Ghislaine, because like I said, I ain't forget about you, chick, because until you are fully prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law, and if you got any dirt on anybody else, you better try to save yourself from the death penalty. I know it's probably not on the table, but the fact that you sexually abuse children, that should be on the table for me. I'm just saying. Like, you don't do that to children. That's just wrong. So this article comes from Newsweek. It's the title is Why Ghislaine Maxwell Was Just as Much of a Predator as Jeffery Epstein. It says Ghislaine Maxwell was able to lure young girls and minors to pedophile Jeffery Epstein because they saw the woman figure as a protector, a biographer told Newsweek. The British socialite is awaiting trial on allegations she helped Epstein groom young girls for sex while they were in a relationship in the 1990s. Maxwell said in a recently unsealed deposition it was a part of her job for the New York financier to find adult massage therapists. Her accusers claim that she groomed them to be abused by him with promises they would be helped in their career. The daughter of deceased UK news tycoon Robert Maxwell, which is Ghislaine, denies charges of trafficking and perjury and awaiting trial in July. That's July 2021, just to clear that up. Some of the allegations against her are detailed in the new biography, The Spider, published recently by Crown, an imprint of Penguin Random House. Author Barry Levine told Newsweek the most troubling aspect of it is young girls and minors certainly will look at the woman figure as the protector, and they felt initially safe because of Maxwell's presence. Basically what he's saying is before they got abused, they thought that she was going to step in and help them, and she did. Anyway, her and Jeffrey were this couple that would mentor young women, give them scholarships and so forth, help them through their troubles, give them money for their families. Her presence in the relationship certainly helped to recruit and groom a lot of these girls. These girls were not prepared that this woman would be as much as a predator and monster as Jeffrey. From depositions and testimonies, it's clear that Ghislaine was just as much as a predator as Jeffrey was. The Spider charts how Maxwell fell for Epstein when she moved to New York and after the mysterious death of her father in 1991. At the time, he was mourning the loss of his own father, Seymour, or I guess that's Seymour Epstein, who died after a long illness in December that year, the book says. Levine said, I spent a lot of time in the book trying to explore a little bit of what had been Maxwell's mindset when she first met Jeffrey Epstein. I'm not going to read this whole entire thing. I really am not. The fact of the matter is, they're just, he's chronicling her life with Jeffrey Epstein. And the fact of the matter is, if you read the whole article, which I suggest you go do, is the fact that she was just as bad, if not worse. Because my whole thing is, if you know that you're leading somebody into danger, you're just as bad or worse than the actual person that's putting them in danger, because you know what's going to happen to them. And why would you want bad stuff to happen to people? That's what I don't get. Why would you want bad stuff to happen to people, to you or anyone else? Anyway, however, Levine is uncompromised in his assessment and Maxwell's role in the abuse surrounded Jeffrey Epstein. He said Jeffrey and Ghislaine kind of made a predatory Bonnie and Clyde of sorts. The most troubling thing about Ghislaine's involvement was she was willing to go through this because she believed that she was in love with him and wanted him to marry her in some weird, warped way. She allowed all this to carry on in a way to please Jeffrey. Go read it for yourselves. And like I said, I'm going to continue to cover, any kind of developments that come up with Ghislaine Maxwell, because people need to understand that there are predators out there. Yes, I said predators. And what I do mean by that is pedophiles that go after children. Yes, I'm unapologetic with that. You do not abuse children sexually. That is the worst thing you could possibly do. All right, I'm done, you guys. Take it away, girly. Bye.
Well, thanks so much for tuning in to another episode of Nice But Feisty. I am Mandi Nice. I'm going to get right into my topics. This article comes from NPR, and it is entitled Republicans Toggle Between Congratulating Biden and Saying Election Isn't Over. So now when you actually go read this article, and I do want you to go read it for yourself, I am going to change it up. At least I'm going to read it and then kind of make sure I'm down the middle, because a lot of this has, legal implications. And I just want to make sure for me that I am totally neutral on this particular topic. Okay. Alrighty. So some top Republicans on Sunday defended President Trump's continued prostinations that the election is not over, and that his claims that the Democrats are trying to steal the election while others said he should exit gracefully. In a statement Sunday, former President George W. Bush congratulated projected winner, Joe Biden, and projected vice president winner, Kamala Harris, on their win. President Trump has the right to request recounts and pursue legal challenges, and any unresolved issues will be properly adjudicated, Bush wrote. The American people can have confidence that this election was fundamentally fair, its integrity will be upheld, and its outcome will be or is clear. Neither Senator Mitch McConnell, the top Republican in the Senate, nor Republican Kevin McCarthy, the House Minority Leader, has issued statements about Biden's victory as of Sunday afternoon. Meanwhile, one of Trump's top allies in the House struck a more combative tone once the race was called. There is still serious legal challenges that have been made, and until the process is resolved, the election is not final. House Minority Whip Steve Scalise, I think I said that correct, who is a Republican, I think in Louisiana. He tweeted that on Saturday. Scalise wrote, "The election isn't over until all legal votes are counted and certified," language that echoes Trump's repeated comments of counting only legal votes. So let me jump in here really quickly, because again, like I said, I'm not trying to have too much commentary because I don't want, anything kind of backlash or whatever, because this is a very serious situation, and people, we have to be very down the middle with this so that, you're not looking like you're trying to sway the election one way or the other. Okay, so by this, from what I gather from what is being said, is that when they're talking about legal votes, they're talking about making sure that people that were, one, eligible to vote, and two, people that were on the register rolls. And we know that some states actually allow you to register on that day. And what some allegations that are coming forward is that people that were not eligible to vote, that means if you were a felon and your rights for voting have not been reinstituted, your vote would not be counted. For example, if you are a legal resident but you are not a U.S. citizen, you, from what I gather, is that your votes you're not eligible to vote because you're not a U.S. citizen yet. So they just want to make sure that's happening, along with the fact that there are allegations that people that are outside of the state have issued ballots for states that they do not live in. I don't know the validity of those things, but what I'm stating is that is their premise, is that, you have to be eligible to vote, and and those eligible votes need to be counted. So there's that. So now let's continue. There has been no evidence of any widespread voter fraud or illegal election activity. And while Scalise and Trump both said the election isn't over because the votes haven't been certified, it's worth noting that certifying results will or may not change the outcome of the election, because again, there are some irregularities that have been reported. For example, and I'm just trying to skirt that line. So there are reports, not sure if they've, been validated or not, but they have seen, and there are witnesses that are coming out and stating that votes that were previously tallied, for example, Trump, were somehow flipped in the system, and then those votes given to Biden. What they're stating is that they are finding where that has happened, and they have corrected that. So we're hoping that that will no longer be an issue if they go ahead and make sure that they do that across the board. So we'll see what happens there. Not sure. So I'm going to skip down a little bit for this article, because again, I want you guys to go read it for yourself. I'm reading it straight down the line, but if you want to really kind of get the voice of the article and the writer, you will want to go read this for yourself. Let's see, let's scroll on down. So we're going to read this, and this is actually the last paragraph, because I just don't want to make it too long. It's been a long week, and I thought by now I'd be over this whole election crap, But here we are. Florida State Marco Rubio, who unsuccessfully ran in 2016 for the Republican presidential nomination, remind the public the day after the election day that taking days to count legally casted votes is not fraud, and that court challenges to votes cast after the legal voting deadline is not suppression. So that was his take. Again, you guys, we're here just to present the information that has been presented to the public. You make up your own minds. My 2 cents, you know, it's just that 2 cents. As of right now, I don't know what to think because there is news flying all over the place if you're paying attention. So I reserve all of my celebrations until after we figure out, you know, who the electorate college is actually going to vote for, because I've done a deep dive into this and what we think. We live in a republic, for one. So, and two, the electoral college actually has selected all the presidents. And I know some people are calling for, you know, certain things, but the fact of the matter is, you know, from what I understand, we just need to be patient and just see what the outcome is truly going to be. So yeah, that's it. Bye.
Well, thanks so much for tuning in to another episode of Nice But Feisty with Mandi, Nice and Tasha Feisty. Ooh, oh, yeah. Have a good one. Oh, and one more thing. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And share the video. You heard.